ether. It's been a minute. Mentally. Okay, let me just. Let me just get a little more comfortable. My desk is trashed as usual, so I figured a nice little New Year's thing to do would be to organize it, and that's what I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. Happy New Year's and Hogmanay to those across the pond. Since the last time I've been live, we adopted a puppy, a rescue English bulldog. He's impossibly cute, and I'm sure he'll make a guest appearance, but it's just, I don't know, so hard to get things done. We have 5 animals currently, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and a pig, and so there's never a dull moment, and but can also not seem to get anything done because it's being a zoo. Here's some hearts I made out of Coke cans. Just Coke cans and a nail, making indents, and then I just used Sharpie to color them in. I was making these tags. Will helps me to these. So, for instance, these have little RFIDs in them. I forgot exactly what they're called. They're just like an RFID chip and a sticker. You can see the workings back there. And what we were doing with these, we were keeping track of like when we fertilized, when it last flowered, stuff like that. Little tidbits of information to save on each tree, and we were taping these to the bark. And the whole idea, I don't think my phone's gonna work because it's absolutely full, like 99% full, but you just put your camera or your fingerprint sensor up to it, and if your phone is in working order, it'll pull the page right up, and pretty neat. And it just has like a little document that it pulls up, and that's what these are for. You get a roll of them. Even like if you were to stash a bunch of stuff in a bin or a tote to put it in the garage or the attic, you could throw one of these bad boys in it and like index exactly what is in the bin. And I think that is pretty neat. Haven't been really making much. Trying to get back outside and enjoy this weather and try to get more plants started and propagated. Just a classic spreading myself too thin and not getting much done, but can't beat it, that's for sure. This desk is supposed to kind of be clear at all times, so anytime I do work on something, I have like a landing spot, but it has not been can't figure out what I should start with. I'm a bit scattered today. Anybody sees this, I'm always looking to learn more crafts and different things to work with. I've been trying to figure out how to do screen printing so I can make some tote bags and stuff. My dad found like $200 worth of screen printing supplies at a thrift store, or yard sale, my bad, for $30, and I am wildly stoked about it. I keep forgetting to not throw my phone in a tray of bees. It's got these magnet flaps. Okay. See these? This is the wire I'm really looking for. This stuff is the absolute best. I only had like 3 feet of it. My dad found it like on the floor in the garage, and it's got, I think it was 18 strands. I don't really count, but this is what I used to make chain, and I'm completely out of it, so I haven't been able to make any chain. And the stuff that I get from craft store or Amazon, even worse, the stuff doesn't last. And like the stuff that I have ready, I like to hang it out and see all the works at once, but like 6 of these heavily decked out chokers that I made with like handmade resin onks and put a lot of, you know, love and support into it. But the wire that I was using wasn't the best quality. It was just stuff that I got bulk, and it completely discolored. And not like discolored in a kind of satisfying way or like aged. Discolored like black splotches, and the thin coat of metallic paint that they put on the wire is like very sharp, and it starts to flake up. It's just I don't know what the point of making the stuff is if it doesn't last. Like, just the air did it within a week. Mortifying. That's why I do prefer working with vintage and found objects. I find a hardware store or salvage yard copper is way cheaper than the craft store, and you just get so much more. And when you make like wire things, it takes a lot of wire, and then you go to a craft store to get it, and they sell them on these tiny little spools. What are you gonna do with that? Not much, but I guess depending on what you're making. But hardware stores and salvage yards, anytime I used to go to a salvage yard to get copper wire, I would just find all the little scraps on the floor and be like, how much is this? People usually like buy tons of scraps apparently at a time, so 9 times out of 10 they just tell me to take it, because the scales that they have are like industrial scales. Oh god, that scared the crap out of me. I forgot to put this bad boy in a jar or something. It's I don't want to say hawk moth because I'm not entirely sure, somewhere I have the cocoon. It's huge. We have some propylene glycol around here somewhere, and that's what I usually put like specimens in. Do a lot of work outside, so run into a lot of really fascinating looking creatures, and mustn't waste. Throw that in a bottle with some propylene glycol and you have a nice wet specimen. Okay. I'm really bad at doing this sitting in one place. Because all this stuff goes in a variety of spots. I finally found some of these. Going to use these to make dice. And I have an example somewhere. Well, let me get it, because I haven't been making much, and I need to change that. And I know the reason is if your desk is absolutely chaos, then hey, I found this really old watch when I was in high school. Walking down an alley, I just looked down and it was poking out of the shell rock. It is a Cardinale. It's a little, what's it called? Mechanical. Back is. Have to be careful because the frame itself is cracked. Yeah. Okay. A little mechanical movement. And it looks brand new. This must have been, I mean, I don't know how long it could have possibly been in the shell rock. It was like in there, looking like an artifact of an ancient civilization. And completely clean inside. Glass is intact. One of my favorite little finds. This is another thing that I'm really... It came from a bracelet. Hello. Oh, hi, it came from a bracelet. It's bone, but this is what I like about it. It's a slide, like a bar clasp. The whole thing's carved out of bone. I forgot what this kind of bone is. It's got like striations down it, so I don't know if it's like, I know they make like a type of material out of bone dust, like ground up bones. And how you say, the outcome. I read much more than I speak. I do a little jewelry making, and I'm trying a new approach at organizing beads. So my first approach was every bead had its own bottle, its own bag, and stuff like that. But anytime I made something, opening all these little things drove me nuts. And then I did like by color, so like red beads, orange beads, yellow beads, and then that was just and then I tried to do whatever beads I had the most of, put those by themselves, and then put like complementary beads with them, and that didn't work. So now this is gonna be like a rainbow palette, and all these beads like interact with light somehow. A lot of iridescent, opalescent, pearlescent, and yeah, so anything that refracts multiple colors or light somehow. And yeah, I try to not make stuff that will fall apart instantly, but still like handmade and like crafty. And so what was I going for with that? Oh, I like things that do stuff. So now I'm trying to sort them by like what beads will go together. So in theory, I could just grab one tray and like take that with me if I go out of town, and like it'll be like a self-contained little tray. But it never goes. Everything just gets a chaotic mess, and I usually have these big bins of beads because when I'm done with the project, I just kind of like it into the bin, and I'll just pull from that for months, and then I'll sit. And a lot of my beads are salvaged. I like for instance, beaded outfits. I find those that are absolutely falling apart, like no hopes of repair, and one dress will yield way more beads than if you went to buy them at a craft store. And craft stores are not the cheapest places in the world. Like Walmart's craft supplies are very like affordable, but there's certain things that like you just know aren't gonna last. Like their seed beads, most of them are painted, so they'll start chipping. And those are like the tiny little beads. I don't know why people would make painted seed beads. And the wire, although you get so much, it discolors. But there's certain wires there that discolor like aesthetically. So yes, it comes down to choosing. I do have an Etsy. I think my Etsy's away. In the description of this video, I think there's a link to my website, and it's not completely finished. There's a lot of information I'm still adding to it. I'm trying to get all of the global pantheon, so the gods, goddesses, deities, folklore of every religion, every culture, every time period I possibly can. Right now it's just me working on it, so it's going really slow, but it's one of the most fruitful journeys I've ever been on. And yeah, I've been studying mythology and folk traditions my whole life out of hobby, and started looking around and like not knowing still what I 100% wanted. I know I always wanted a shop, like a vintage slash botanical shop, like a place where you could shop all of my interests and then some, and the interests of everybody else. That's another thing about my website. It's not just for me. I'm trying to make it more of a communal place, and but I'm stuck trying to get all the information out because I feel weird showing it and trying to like get others involved in it without having all the information and like have it not finished, because it will never be finished, but closer to completion than like, you know, missing a bunch of stuff. And yeah. Folklore, mythology, it's been gaining in popularity for a long time, making it a lot easier to find a lot of the information that's generally quite difficult to come across. You have to either like find PDFs or genuine books, and I always tell people like you'd be surprised how little is actually on the internet. And mythology and stuff like that is a good example. And like my obsession lies in like I suppose occult studies, if you will, but I equate it to be no different than say a Trekkie or like somebody who's really into a franchise, and I'm just heavily fascinated by it. And a lot of shows, movies, comics are based off of mythology, so when you start living the old stories, you start seeing them everywhere. And the architecture. One of my favorite things to look at is when the Freemasons were actually Masons, or were still Masons, I should say, because Freemasons were Masons, incredible artists. And we see this most notably depicted in cathedrals, where you have the triptych architecture on the bottom, leading to the rose window of transmutation, the achievement of rebus, and then that branches out into the two towers. I don't know what concerts, if it's like 2, 1, 3, or 1, 3, 1, 2. The towers, of course, male, female, lunar, solar. I always forget the pillars. Boaz, and I always want to say Joan Boaz. Joan Boaz. I think that's how you say her name. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fascinating. And cathedral is one of the most recognizable buildings that I know of. Cathedrals and the courthouses after that. Trinity, exactly. Triptych architecture, and you see it everywhere. And same thing with like the what's are those called? The obelisks, usually being across from a dome, and the obelisk phallic, and the dome womb like, and I always think of the quote, and I'm not sure who said it. It could have been Confucius for all I know. There's two truly global languages, and that's math, or numbers, and symbolism. And symbolism is just one of those things that I think, and we have an innate obsession with it, and understanding of it. And because symbolism is still a pictograph language, like every symbol that I can think of, like there's something that it invokes, that there's just a general understanding, like like what does the sun symbolize to you, and stuff like that. And then that, like, it's just it's the most delicious rabbit hole, because then you learn not only like say a lobster is used as a symbol for, or maybe I should yeah. But, why is this lobster depicting this thing? And then you learn like the behavior of the lobster, and colors that are possible within the lobster, and I don't know, stuff like that. You end up learning way more than you are after, and I find that to be highly addicting. And I'm sure a lot of people, when they end up on a Wikipedia page, end up opening like 50 tabs of just highlighted words that they haven't seen yet. I think. I still gotta ID this for sure. Big ol', keep wanting to say hawk moth. That's a fur boy. Hey. I don't want him to break. I had a few wet specimens in here, but I can't find them. These, a preservative to just put them in little glass bottles, and it's brilliant for little wet specimens. Not everybody's into that kind of thing, but all of my specimens have died from natural causes. I gotta sit different because I do want to get something done today. I want to clear this because I finally got the book that I've been waiting for a really long time, and there's PDFs, but it's like an encyclopedia. It's Manly P. Hall's Secret Teachings of All Ages, and it just goes through everything. What I've been wanting to do, like, is finding all the common grounds. So the Tree of Life, that is referenced in every single culture that I've come across thus far, and what's the common ground of all these truly separate peoples, and that have belief systems that are very similar to one another. I really don't understand, like, especially with the monotheistic religions, if they're all talking to this one true God, I hate to do it, but yada yada, wouldn't it make sense it's the same God? And so why hasn't anybody compared notes? Like, it's dumb, it sounds dumb, but nobody had like instant like communication like we do now, and you know, when one person thinks on top of one mountain, like falling off a cliff, or that was not a good example. Let me think. Or like crabs are delicious, and like somebody across that ocean like also has the same realization that crabs are delicious, and so on and so on. Or potatoes, like everybody uses potatoes in wildly different ways, but instead of, I don't know, you just like learn more ways to use said potato rather than like, I don't know. I'm like allergic to the whole like this or us and them mentality that's engulfing reality. Drives me absolutely nuts because we're all very similar. And it just drives me nuts. Okay, let me grab my tea real quick. Here go Monty. I'm on a coffee break. Sorry about that. I could not find it, so I had to make them. Taking a wee bit of a coffee break, I went from drinking about a pot a day to no pots a day. I've come to, right? Like, I always see, these whole ass memes that are like, normalize this. I saw one that's normalize arguing with your pets. But I always say like normalize studying for fun, because I don't know, it's, growing up I had so many friends, like for instance, a group that I was hanging out with for a while, like all of a sudden when Game of Thrones came out, like that was like what they lived and breathed. And I don't know, I've never found anybody that like geeked out to other stuff, because I do. There's shows that I really, really like Black Books, for instance, with Dylan Moran. Excellent show. But there's something about, I don't know if it's because like the high school I went to was a film school, and the first thing they tell you is, "Oh, we're gonna ruin film for you." I can't not. Weirds me out a little bit. Like I don't know. Well, like seeing a kid cry in a movie, it's like, why did they have to tell that kid to make him cry on command? It's like, it just gets real dark. Or like animals, and like how many times did the dog have to walk through the living room to be yelled at by this it's just really strange to me. Like I always thought it was really, I don't know, it was a weird thing. And but I watch it. I watch the television and I watch films. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, they say reality is stranger than fiction. It's like, then why not read that? I always longed for people to like geek out to you know, alchemy, hermeticism, Gnosticism, Kabbalah, anything. Like, just not I don't know, Harry Potter or something. Which, I'll watch it, but the whole time I'm like looking for, actively looking for symbolism, because I know there's a lot of little Easter eggs, and that, because like nothing that you see on film is on accident, every single thing. Just finally watched Eyes Wide Shut the other day. It was the most anticlimactic movie I've ever seen. Like, I don't know, I think, it was made a while ago, so like, I've heard it quoted and referenced so many times, I thought it was gonna be like, whoa. But, I don't know. But even that movie, I was really surprised, like, I saw a statue of Cupid and Psyche, and that was like one of the only things that I could pull out. I didn't see many Easter eggs like I was looking for. So, I always like, I can't stand feeling sleepy. I always have to like be going or else sleep and then get going again. And what, like, regardless of what going is, like, I'm not going skydiving. Sometimes it's just like doodling on the couch. But I always have to be doing something crafty, I guess. And coffee was great, but made me all jittery and like anxious feeling. And like it started off like I didn't want to consume this many acidic foods, because I really like tomatoes and coffee, and it's two highly acidic things. And then like I never foresaw myself like not drinking coffee, but I have a big old bag of this yerba mate, and apparently has more caffeine. You don't get like a crash. It's not as strong. I don't even put honey in it, and it is quite good and refreshing. And your teeth doesn't feel like sandpaper afterwards. And I don't know. I found, because also when I drink coffee, like I'm constantly refilling the cup, and like constantly when I'm on stream, I have a minor problem with sitting in one place for too long, and So I do have a bad habit of getting up every 2 seconds to refill a cup. But yeah, I have nothing wrong with this stuff. In fact, my new brew is probably done steeping. But is it New Year's yet? And I think too, I'm just starting to notice things that I can't ignore anymore, like how much more enjoyable food from home can be. Like it's not easy cooking every 2 seconds, but check this out. $5. I don't know if anybody here is vegan. I'm not. I've tried it, given an honest attempt about 10 years ago. My sister's been vegan, well, a half sister, for over 20 years. Chicken, $5, whole chicken. That will last like a normal person days, because you could do so much with it, and you could put it in tortilla wraps for quesadillas, and tuna, chicken salad, pasta salad, a bunch of crap like that. And in reality, it's all stuff that my parents used to make when I was a kid. But I don't know. It's the simplest things are like you don't have to do anything special to an eggplant. You could just bake it whole, and it's delicious. And it's stuff like that. And how easy certain plants are to grow, and how like possible impossible things seem. And yeah, my whole resolution this year is trying to. I've never tried matcha tea. I can never find it. And when I do go to like an Asian grocery, I'm inundated when I walk in, because there's too many delicious things, quite frankly, and I never forget what I'm looking for. And that seems, it's one of the most beautiful greens that I can think of is matcha, and it's just such a satisfying looking thing. And the whisk, the whole 9 yards, beautiful. And I do have the proper gourd to drink the yerba mate from, with the straw, but I got these big beautiful tea bags and a ton of herbs. I like making incense, so I have a ton of bulk herbs anyway, and it's been quite a treat. I think, what is it? What is it? What does it even say? There's fireworks blasting off in the background. My train of thought is up and smoke like the fireworks. So these beads are kind of just the last few projects, and so there's that many. I just end up making little collection containers, and yeah, because when I do turn them into something, well, I have to reorganize them. This is a couch activity, and I have to do it quite a lot. I'm quite good at cleaning beads. I have salvaged many beads off of like fire damaged clothes, all kinds of stuff, and pipe cleaners and a mason jar with dish soap is. Yeah, let me see how much this yerba mate is, because it's a huge bag. It's like a pound. I know it was. Okay, is that it? 1 pound bag for $6.98 on theargentina.com. I don't know what their shipping and everything is, or if there's like a minimum, but yeah, no, I thought for sure it was gonna be super expensive when I first like wanting to. There used to be a yerba mate. I used to like going to bars, clubs, and all that, but I don't know. I'm a crafter, so I don't get out much, and when I do go out, I always long to be back home. So I'm gonna use this. I'm working on a pretty gross project that I don't want to share. I will. I want to make paintbrushes. Some of the paintbrushes that I use are made out of boar's hair. I have a pig, and so I'm gonna try to make some paintbrushes from. He's in the process of. He blew his coat late. When a pig blows its coat, it's they're releasing all the bristles because they don't have fur. It's like bristles. There's a species called Kune Kune, and they're like the softest, most fur-like pig. I don't know if it's considered fur, honestly, but bristles, straight bristles. And believe it or not, he's not uncomfortable. Like, I sleep with them every night, so he's... Oh, well, there goes my future paintbrushes, you know? I'll never forget this Japanese crafts book I rented from the library like 10 years ago, and it was Crafting with Cat Hair. Once, I can't believe I'm gonna tell this story. My parents' neighbors really like cats, and we used to watch their cats when they went on holiday and such, and like 7 cats. Every cat has different like feeding spot, different types of food, and stuff like that, whole 9 yards. They're really cool people. I really like them. But once her like longtime cat passed away, and she knows that I make stuff, so she wanted me to make something out of some of the fur. Long story short, it ended up with us drinking a bottle of gin, petting this cat for hours, and I had a huge bag of like cat fur. I was gonna make something, and I was gonna do is put felt on a frame and then felt the fur into the felt and make like a cat portrait. And it's called felting. It's very fun. It's these little needles, and you just poke and stab felt and onto another fabric surface. And if you've seen those like shoulder pad things, elbow pads that are in like old-timey jackets, I forgot what specific jacket, or I guess like that's the weakest point of the fabric from doing this so much that people would often have to patch those up, and then it became a fashion thing, I'm guessing. But I am guessing. And you could do that with felting needles. If you want old-timey like jacket, tweed jacket, you could felt some sweet elbow pads on it. I forgot what I was talking about. Happy New Year's, beautiful ether. Is this a little weird? Well, not weird, but just like unsettling maybe. I collect shell buttons. You knock it on your tooth, you can tell if it's shell or plastic. If you can't tell by sight, and it's not really cold because I was holding it, but usually real, like, natural things will be cold to the touch, and they transfer heat a lot more efficiently. I'm really not good at this. Yeah, and last time I, like, felt lucid in just, like, a normal life, because these last 2 years feel like removed from reality in its own, like, timeline. But the last time, like, I felt normal, like walking to this, just I don't know, 2019. Like, it's really bizarre to me that it's 2023, because, like, 2019, some part of me is still back there, because it just doesn't feel real. It's wow. We got screwed. And these rosaries, non-denominational rosaries. This one is fruit, so those are gooseberries. They're supposed to be blueberries. I did the blueberries by just putting a bead cap on the bottom to be like that little skirt that they have. Gooseberry and a pomegranate. And the pomegranate, I put the the flower cap on the top of it to be its crown. And this one is just with pearls and really old wood beads. I quite like this one. Might have to keep that one actually, because it fits over my head if I like fold my nose and stuff. But since I didn't put a clasp on it, I feel like that's not a good thing to list, because I don't know whose head it's gonna fit. And it feels like it's not going to break, but it's not a nice feeling pulling jewelry across your face. I have these vintage late 80s, early 90s Stuart Weitzman Victorian style boots, and I pulled a little too hard, and the back leather that like holds the fabric in place broke. And I looked a bunch of different times on a bunch of different directions of the internet, and the few listings that I did find were all sold listings from like a long time ago. They're like the perfect boots. If you look up Stuart Weitzman Victorian boots, like you put those on, suddenly you're solving mysteries. It's raining, there's fog. I used to have all my craft stuff in like cute baskets, decorative jars. Wasn't working. Now I have a Ziploc file system. Even though I'm not using, oh, I guess I don't have to write sewing thread on it. They are see-through. But that seems to work the best for me personally. I'm trying to get my dad's, he finds all kinds, he finds the dopest shit. So I sell vintage and my dad sells antiques. And, well, sells. He buys antiques and then hoards them and refuses to let me buy them, but apparently they're all for sale. He has, I always forget, lockers. They're like, school lockers. Clear. All they have the little locky things. Clear. That would be so perfect, because, I can't open my little product drawer because the computer's on it, but here's a good example. I make these coins, flip coins. These are, so I have all these delicious little like occult books, and I love making the things that I find in them. And there's this one that has these, so in Latin it has, I promised myself I would remember what this said. I've been on Duolingo with Latin. In urbe es. That's all I remember. But, yeah. If there's anybody out there that likes learning language, I highly recommend Tandem, unsponsored. Here's why. The messaging, it's alright. Trying to find people in certain areas, you have to pay for all that, but you can still, like, message random people that are online. But here's, like, the best part, is they have chat rooms, but it's audio, and you could put your mic on or turn it off. It's no video, and it's a great way to have just normal everyday conversations with people across the world, and very fascinating. And yeah, and every room will have a theme, and you could put, I believe, 3 languages that you're interested in, and you'll see people in groups of those languages. So, like, you won't see all groups for all languages, I don't think. But, yeah, there's always quite a lot of people on. And everybody is really nice because everybody's just trying to learn languages and different, like, cool things about cultures. So, more the merrier. And, yeah. It's one of the most wholesome places I found on the internet. There's been a few, like once, there was a room that just had, like, a peach emoji. And it was straight up just two people banging on audio on Tandem. Yeah. I last at a yard sale when I was a kid. Madonna. Not the biggest fan of Madonna, but there are some banging hits. Like a wait. I won't. Yeah. There's some that I will still gladly listen to. I've been listening to a lot of. I don't know why Wisin and Yandel is popping into my mind, but I guess I haven't been listening to much of anything. I've been watching a lot of lectures because, again, life is stranger than fiction, and lectures are just like, here's the deal. They could be a little tedious. All you do is you change the playback speed to make it faster, and it sounds just like any other YouTuber, like fast speed or fast paced talking, and a little easier to pay attention that way, for me anyway. And yeah, sometimes like one extra setting, sometimes two, but it seems to really work. I don't fall asleep, I don't get bored, I don't start what's it called when you, like, your mind starts drifting? It's, I only have one. It wasn't a broken jewelry thing. Oh, it's the last hour. Oh, I have this little dish of eggshells. I make chalk. And I just realized I threw the doll's shoes in it, so they're walking on eggshells. I guess this could go in the leaving pile. Yeah, I'm trying to look for shelves. I just, everything's particle board and like $400 and up for shelves. And then the, like record shelf type cubby system, I think it's, yeah, IKEA, is like the only thing that they don't deliver on the site. If anybody has any shelving recommendations? I'm from a small little coastal town, so anytime you needed shelves, you just waited until bulk pickup and drove around the block a few times. And you always find like vintage, antique, good times. Granted, this is Florida, so you have to make sure. And I've had to leave like the most beautiful like Victorian furniture because it's all eaten up by termites, and I didn't have space at the time to get into furniture restoration. But it's those little towns that be throwing away like priceless antique. These are all gemstones. Well, no, stones. These guys, huge rock beams. My dad was an irrigation man, and I would often go to jobs with him, and this one lady, her husband was an archaeologist, and he just passed away, and she gave me so much stuff. And I still have it to this day. Pretty much every single piece she gave me. Crystals. This one lady, I was really into Tomb Raider, so she used to throw fossils in her pool so I could swim and find them. Oh, no way! I'm quite a fan of Robert Saper's content, to say the least. It's just, I really like archaeology and anthropology, like, a lot, and it's just, like History Channel stuff, it was just all so off, and, like, there's certain things, and, like, even if a myth, like, spells out one thing, they'll say something else just for the sake of, like, being TV appropriate or whatever, and it drives me nuts. And, I appreciate the balls, and I appreciate, like, and anybody, and, yeah, mad respect. One day I will be able to get his books, because I'm very interested in what's in writing. And, I still need to film that, refilm that. I have, some grand ideas. Every now and then I learn a little song on ukulele. I have this really crappy plastic, like, waterproof ukulele, but, I don't know, it's such a treat to walk around with, so every now and then I learn something to it. And I really like byproducts, and, like, if I'm gonna do something, I really like killing birds, really, with, one stone. The saying, I don't really like killing birds. I used to have a bird. It spoke German, and its name is Admiral. Stuck in thought rather than in productive mode. This is my grandmother's jewelry thing. My grandma was a tomboy. She had very little, like, frilly things. And this was one of them. Oh. I was looking for that. It was right there. The videos that I'm working on now is pretty much like fun facts in history and the crafting and plant worlds. And I don't know, I'm a real huge fan of fun facts and reels. It takes so little time that I really think it's the easiest way to get little like tidbits of information out there. And oh, well, the only problem is my phone is absolutely full. It's 98% full, and my computer holds way less than what I have. And I'm not the most technologically savvy. I'm not at all. I work with tools, supplies all day. As far as like trusting that if I put all my stuff on this like thing that has no screen, like I won't lose it all. Or I'm just really bad at managing my media, I guess. And I've lost many pictures, videos, everything. I used to live alone for a really long time, and didn't know how easy it was to just like get music without paying for it on iTunes. I paid for every single song that I had on my iPad. I had the first iPad, this is years ago, and I missed like a payment or something for, because you bought like the service directly on it, and they like made it so I couldn't get to my iTunes anymore. I had like 3,700 songs on it. I used it for nothing but music, to listen to music. I didn't even have a phone at the time. My phone got stolen at the beach, and I went 5 years without it, and it was like the 5 best years of my life. Yeah, no, for real. I'm really entertained by the anti-Robert Super videos on YouTube. It's just it's so funny. You can tell that like nobody's ever watched a single video, and I don't know. There's something weird going on with history. I mean, it's been like that for a long time, but it's weird when it's like apparent, because there's like known truths, of course, but as soon as it starts getting apparent, it gets a little weird. 12/24. I just 2023. That is intense. 2019. That's like what I remember. I'm already really bad with time though. Time. I'm aloof to time. It's just, I don't know. I'm the type of person that'll message somebody 8 years later, like, being like, yo, man, what's up? What are you doing today? Time just, I don't know, just doesn't exist for some reason. I'm very poor at time management. I think that's another reason why I hate TV, because it'll be like 1 p.m. and then all of a sudden it's 8 p.m. and you don't know what happened. You're in the same spot, very confused. The sun's down. It's Florida, so there's too many mosquitoes to go outside. It's... Oh. I have to get up and get something. That's why I'm like teetering on the edge of the chair. I might as well do this. I gotta plan these trips. was just talking about this, so might as well. Nice, healthy sized tea bags, which, I used to use the tea balls. I really don't like throwing things away, but these are actually great to throw in pots and it holds moisture. Here in Florida, you can have a potted plant. If you don't water it for a day, it's fried and like long since dead. So I bury, I do cardboard. I really like coconuts, like ripped up. If you know somebody with a dog, just throw them a bunch of dried coconuts and they'll rip them up. And they don't mold. They hold a ton of moisture, and you put those on the bottom and then mulch the top with like some grass clippings, and your pot won't dry out. Beep. Tea bag. No, 100%. Well, okay, so my uncle wrote like another book this year. I'm sorry. It's one of my favorite authors right now. It's just wild to me. Polluting Buddhism. I'm almost done with it. There's a CCP back cult that is has been infiltrating Tibetan Buddhism, yet denouncing Tibetan Buddhism and the Dalai Lama, whole 9 yards. Talking their practitioners into thinking that they're dakinis and like sexual consorts. Bizarre. And he wrote an expose on it, and I actually started going to a Vajrayana temple when I was in 5th grade. My mom has always been really supportive. I went to Catholic school for 10 years, and within that time I started going to Buddhist temples, just really broadening my horizons of like global understanding, turns out. And what was the part I was on? Anyway, you can't see, I'm gonna fuck it up. I mean, mess it up. You can't see a diamond looking at one facet. I'm gonna have to grab the book. You can't admire a diamond. You can't see the whole diamond looking in one facet. I'll grab the book and pop this in some water. It'll take 1, 2, or maybe 3 seconds. Brush teeth. We cannot see a diamond by looking at only one facet. I was so close. Let me just show y'all. Hey, Bubby. Come on, Bubby. Oh, I'm gonna get your fur all over me. Here he is. Oh, Bubby. Hi. Is this church? Our new addition. Yeah. Oh, hello. Oops. Nobody saw that. Church, where's your decency? Where did I put mine? Oh yeah, set it like over here. Oh yeah. seriously great. And I'm not just saying that. It's actually quite mind-blowing and kismet that this exists. And yeah. Polluting Buddhism. It's a wild rabbit hole. Not as covered as something like that, like, should be. Is bizarre. Like, it's truly bizarre. NKT. Like, there's a Kadampa tradition that's, like, ancient, but the new Kadampa tradition is CCCP backed Buddhist cult. Wild. Like, it's wild that that exists. I don't mean to laugh, but at that. Like, they have protests, and it's just, whoa, very aggressive on something that should be, like, you know, quite. I've spent a lot of time in various types of Buddhist temples, like, I guess more than perhaps the average Joe, I don't know. The monks themselves are some of the most lighthearted, like, people you'll ever meet. The whole time they're there cracking up, like, laughing. And, I forgot who Yoda was based off of, but, is a specific monk, a Buddhist monk. Here's me in 4th grade. I went to Catholic school, and I couldn't wear my little misfit shirt here, so I buttoned the blouse up, and when I got there in front of the camera, I quickly unbuttoned it, and like the smile. Pay no attention to the brows. It was the early 2000s. Old lady. My cat lost her collar, so I have to make her a new one. I might do that now, actually. To find a bell. I have an outdoor cat. She was adopted from, like, this Gucci cat food store. And one day she just decided she wasn't an indoor cat anymore. And, made that her life mission. So I let her go outside and do, like, the whole half and half thing. She got hit by a car within a week. And now I don't have to worry about cars. So she's back outdoors, but she loses her collar every couple of days, every couple of weeks. And it seems I put a big old bell on it. Because if she doesn't have that, a lot of dead rabbits start appearing. So the thought is, put a bell on her and rabbit will hear that a mile away and have a chance. We have these really cute rabbits here, Southeast Florida. They're essentially swamp rabbits, and they're really tiny. When you hear swamp rabbit, it sounds like something that would be real big. But they're these really cute things. They're adorable. They're really small. Like, I can't stress that enough. Impossible to get on camera because by the time you're, like, at a distance where it will even register, they're long gone. Armadillos too. Ton of gators. That's not an exaggeration. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time moving this bead thing. I know y'all can't see it. It's a bead thing. I don't want this to be a beading desk. And I actually want to take a break. I'm making jewelry. I don't have the supplies that I need right now. This wire, beautiful. Within a few weeks, it's got black splotches. It's useless to me. But it's good for some things. Like, I never know what to get my dad for birthday, Father's Day, Christmas. So I always end up decorating fishing hooks for him. And That's where a lot of scrap wire goes. Highly recommend though. There's something about making somebody a homemade fishing lure that, yeah. I grew up coastal and my dad was quite a fisherman. He would leave, for instance, Thursday or Friday and come back Monday or Tuesday. And our boat didn't have a cabin or anything. It was just a regular boat. It was a North American. I guess like police used to use them or something. Efficient boat. And yeah. Like I thought, and like it was like seafood is free. And back in the day, like Chem 4. I just realized this is just the bad. Just huffing a mysterious container on the internet. And adding these pennies to things. They have been pre-altered, even though you can make jewelry out of coins, and as long as you're not using like, what is it called, defrauding? You have to be like still using it as currency for it to be illegal. Like to make a necklace or anything, or one of those what they call a hobo coin is not, yeah. But oh, I wonder. No, yeah, because it's not used as currency. Like you could sell something, but it's, like you can't use that thing that sold to buy something else. Trade doesn't count. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it right now. I just don't know what I could do sitting here, because I want to get this, like, a bookshelf failed at my parents', and it had all of my mom's statues in it. She had a collection of these masks, and this is all that remains. I asked her if I could have it all, but only some of it made it to me, because I could have hodgepodged it together and made something truly horrifying. And then there's like the useless things. Like, cute, sure, I love it. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that would really, really appreciate it. I have to find this person because, I don't know, I've never gotten a use out of it. It does hold stuff. Like, the apparent antsiness that's setting in right there. I just felt my eyes like change from like wide awake to not so much. It's just it's the sitting in one place that just not going as planned. I found this when I was very young. I used to really like exploring abandoned buildings. 10 out of 10. Screw Six Flags, screw Disney, abandoned buildings all the way. I always brought a really nice camera. This sounds so dumb. I always brought a really nice camera. I had like, for the time it was a really good camera. My grandpa was a photographer. He actually died a long time ago. And he's like my favorite person in the family. But, so, yeah, I went to photograph him anyway, and, I've never been stopped. I'm always relatively, put together. I mean, I don't know how put together this is, but you know what I mean. And never got messed with, nothing. Once we were vaguely threatened by someone who was occupying the building, but we just gave them some some cheap beer and stuff, plant matter stuff. This is like a long time ago. I miss that building so much. It was 3 stories in some places, and it was a paper mill, so it had one of those like conveyor belt type things. It's not a conveyor belt, but it's those like ramps with all the cylinders so they roll, and that went down for 2 stories, so from the 3rd floor down, and it was all wooded in, so the only way you could get in is you had to go out the outdoor, like, what's it called, like, staircase staircase to the roof and go down an attic, like, door. This is like the respect thing. That could have easily somebody could have easily broken it, but nobody did, and everybody, like, was real careful on it because you'd be kind of trapped in the building, and, yeah, it was so beautiful. And then there was this one spot that the biggest, like, industrial doors I've ever seen that slid, and it was just a big open warehouse, and somebody put this huge scaffold in the center, which was probably there, but they put it in the center and put a couch on top. It was just empty besides that, and graffiti every inch. It was so beautiful. And the floors were just spray paint cans with the tips taken off of it. It was so nice. And then it burnt down. And then there was this other building that I used to find photo slides in. It was always unlocked, and I just, nobody was ever in there, and I always wondered why. It was so dope, and it was like artist couple to live there, so there was all this, like, but I'm not there to take things. I take some souvenirs, but to be fair, they were, like, outside also, but, like, it was, like, in little hipster central of, the area, and nobody found the slides. No, it was unlocked for years, and nobody found the slides. Photo slides of them, like, having picnics in Italy, and, like, a bunch of people holding hands with them, like, raised in the air around an old church. The coolest photo slides I have. I don't have any here. I made one into a dream catcher. Of a lady in a bikini. The dopest slides I've ever. Between that and, like, the ones that I found in my grandparents' house. I think I have a reel that shows one of them. It's like a panoramic thing. It's in reels, and it's like a pan of view. What is that? The cool sides. This one has, like, a statue of Mary, and it just says surgery because it's in a hospital. And it's this little slide viewer. I have no idea what I would have done with it. Gosh, I didn't think about it. It was a poster of my uncle's, and he took a picture of it. It's from the 70s. My grandpa's a photographer, so all my uncles and my mom and everybody all had their own cameras and had a dark room to develop in. And I always thought that was a neat picture of a vintage poster. Oh yeah. My reels are very lazy right now. My phone is absolutely full. I have no memory, and So nothing that I've posted has been like plans. The plans have not materialized yet. I just have to update my phone. I don't know why I have like a phobia of claiming my phone. Time here is 12:52 a.m. Oh shit, 12:52 a.m. Happy New Year's. I've been hearing that about Instagram accounts. I don't know why it sounds them just disappearing. Will's disappeared, also, and like pretty active on it. It just disappeared, and didn't look too much into it. I don't know. I would have been in panic mode. There's like pictures and like messages and stuff. Like one treat is like see somebody that you message a lot and for a while, and then you could go in the setting or like look at just the images and videos and stuff. It's wild, like so much stuff that I forgot even taking a picture because I took it to send to somebody specific. And videos, it was something I didn't really think of doing before, but 2023, holy shit. The Magician's Own? Sounds familiar. I am always very appreciative towards recommendations. 1857. No. That's what brought this though. I usually write in cursive, but not afraid to admit I can't always read my own handwriting, and I don't even drink alcohol. And that's like why. Just because I write so dang much in little notebooks or scraps of paper that and drawing, like the stuff that I do 24/7, like I don't know. I don't leave this room, and so I don't know. I've fallen for the simple things, that's for sure. I used to be quite wild. Dick and Fitzgerald. Great. I'm very excited for this. I actually made a new eBay and everything for just finding books. I save a lot of stuff in wish lists and stuff like that, so I wanted a clean slate for just books. The other one was too chaotic. Books, beads, herbs, clothes, random swatches of fabric. I have too many hobbies, and trying to pinpoint a few. That's where this is supposed to start, though. Organize your desk, organize your life, I think. Or is it organize your room? Or same just though. And oh ow! I have to write it on here so I can remember to get it. There's this really fascinated right now with the Appalachia folk traditions, namely Pennsylvania Dutch Braucherey people, Braucherey, the Red Church, powwow, conjure, stuff like that. They're essentially Christians that really like beehives for medicinal reasons too. I've read so far that like if you go into an old mom and pop like quick stop, there'll be is it wasp nests? It might be a wasp nest hanging from every inch of the ceiling, and they use it for a lot of things, for dressing wounds and I can't remember. Flour and sugar for wounds too. I think because oh shit, 2 minutes. Oh. That book yielded some delicious search results. It was really bad having an opening too many. Oh, those are magicians. I do like old magician stuff too. I have 2 books, Total Scores. Oh, 1 minute.